want to steal drugs from my father. I don't want to go inside a monster, and I don't want to die.
I say it's worth a shot.
Yes, I agree. Let's do it.
So, I'm trying to put myself out there a bit more and try not to use apps. So I've signed myself up to a singles event.
Welcome back.
It's looking more and more like these women are going to these singles events, and more like men are continuing not to come. Numbers are still dwindling. 90% women at these singles events. Let's get it.
Happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore or put in any effort? It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to. Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore, don't care to put in effort. And a relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little bit more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit more.
That's why it's not working for you, because you still have these stupid ideologies. That's just dumb. He's got to be more into me than I am to him. So that tells me right there that you're not even trying. That tells me right there that you're not putting forth any effort. You just answered your own question. Why aren't men trying anymore? Why aren't men approaching? Why aren't men pursuing anymore? Because you don't give any effort. You do not try. And you've made it clear that you're not going to try. You know, I'm going to try and I'm going to love him, but he needs to love me more. I am never going to love him as much as he loves me. And that feeds into men saying, we love harder. We love unconditionally. You love under a condition. What's the condition in this case? That you give me more time, that you give me more attention than I give you, that you put out more than you're going to get back. And then it's going to work. I think most guys are going to pass on that.
For it to work in the long haul. So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you.
Stupid.
When did that shift? Because back in my mom's era, if a guy wanted to take you out on a date, he had to go up to you, he had to get your number, he had to go through lengths to try to talk to you, even if you weren't interested at first. How my parents met? They met at a bar, and my dad asked for my mom to dance, and my mom was like, get out of here. She wanted nothing to do with him. If he had just left and listened to her, they would have never gone married. They would have never had kids. But he was persistent. He wanted to take her out on a date so badly. He was like, what do I have to do to take you out on a date? She was working late their first date. So he went to her work, picked her up, prepped a dinner, took her to a park, just planned the whole thing. He wrote her poetry. He was yearning. How my aunt and my uncle met. My aunt was a dancer on a cruise ship, and he was the photographer, and he was persistent. She overheard him one night saying to his buddy, he was like, I'm gonna marry that girl. He had just met her, and now they're married and they have 2 kids together. I don't hear anything like that now.
Let me tell you why. I'm sure your aunt and your mother appreciated what was given to them. I'm sure they appreciated what was done for them. You don't appreciate that. You clearly don't appreciate, and most modern women don't. That's why you're not getting the same results as your mother and your aunt or anybody in the olden days, because y'all don't appreciate anything anymore. Y'all don't get it though.
Guy that you're talking to, whether you're in a situationship or you're in a relationship, is talking to another girl. This is what you're gonna do. I've been trying to debate if I'm gonna be like the soft girl and say this, or if I'm gonna give it to you really, really.
You're gonna leave them alone, period, straight up, end of story. But of course, that's not going to make you guys money. So you continue to talk about stuff that's going to waste more and more of your time. That's going to get more of y'all in more of a conundrum, deeper situations that you don't need to be in. It's going to rock you and lead you right into a situationship. But that's what y'all want for the plot, I guess. But go ahead.
Really harsh. Maybe I'll make it part 2 and do both. The Aries in me is the villain. So I'm trying to do what's in your best interest. I would delete all the paragraphs that you're about to send him. Don't even shed a tear. I wouldn't even think twice about this guy. You know why? Because a guy who has to talk to multiple women and make multiple women question themselves and be like, who's that person? Or who's this? Or what's that? Or what's going on? Or whatever. That's an insecure man. A person who is talking to multiple women is an unavailable man. You can try all day long to convince yourself, well, he told me. I don't care what he told you. I'm looking around, I'm trying to find the give. I don't care what he told you. It's not about what he told you. That's the whole point. The whole point is he is talking to multiple women because one person is not satisfying him. They can tell you all day long, you are who they want. But if they do not want to slap a title, they do not want to date, if they have another girl, if they are not living up to your standard, why would you want them? Like, can you imagine yourself getting married to somebody who doesn't value the woman that you are? Like, you want a man to put a wedding ring on your finger. You want this man to be in the same room as when you deliver their like.
You know, I gotta love the stanzas, the paragraphs that they go off of, and they talk about absolutely nothing. You're not telling them anything that they don't already know. It's just that they don't care. They're not going to listen. This is where they wanted to end up, and it's always for the plot.
His child, but he's playing mind games now. Why would you want that? Even if he doesn't act like he's playing, do you think he doesn't know what he's doing? Like, the fact that you didn't even know about this girl until now, and even if you just caught it like right away, they were still in the picture. This man is not available. Please save yourself the time and the energy and the heartbreak
They
and
won't.
the stupidity on their part. You know, like, if they want to be stupid, let them go to Amy, Becky, and Lisa. Not you. You're not playing his game. Refuse to play the game.
Amy, Becky, and whoever else she said will be selling courses within the year. They'll be selling courses within the year. They'll go through this. They'll go through the heartbreak and pain, knowing that a man is about to do that to them. But their trouble and their pain sells. They'll put themselves as, you guys think that you're movie stars. You guys think that you're celebrities. And you'll put yourself in the shoes of a celebrity. Somebody is more important than they actually are. You don't contribute anything to society. Nothing at all. You don't do anything of importance. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that and say, I'm important, I'm somebody, I'm special. You're going to write that on a card somewhere and stick it on the mirror. And you're going to read that to yourself every day. And you're going to actually start believing it, which is not inherently a bad thing, but you're going to believe that in the wrong way. And that just means instead of doing something successful in the world, your ego is going to boost so high that you think that you're better than not just men. You're going to think that you're better than everyone. And then you're going to start holding your head like that. A man's going to bring you back down to earth. You're going to say that men are misogynistic. I'm going to teach you how to avoid misogynistic men. Here are 5 red flags. Get my mini course, and that's going to anchor into your big selling course. That's $299, 100 steps and 100 days to get married. People are going to question you about the fact that you're not married. You're going to say, don't worry about it. Shut up talking to me. You guys are haters. Get the course and you'll be married. And if that doesn't work, because it won't, you're going to sob to them about how they were so mean to you. And then you're going to get all of these sympathy buys and sympathy orders. And women are going to think that your course is trash, but they're still going to buy it because you made them feel sorry for you by crying. Then you're going to get back online the next day or in the next 2 or 3 days, or however long it takes for your sales to reach a minimum threshold. And you're going to tout yourself as this guru. But really, you got there because you cried your heart out and you got sympathy follows, sympathy buys, and people are going to see all of these sympathy likes, comments, and buys, and they're going to think that you're an actual dating guru. But it came all from you crying and being silly. Imagine that.
Ask me, oh, since being single is your new personality now, what are you going to do when you find a boyfriend in a few months?
Got him.
And I was like, I
Valid
won't
question.
find a boyfriend in a few months. I am single by choice. Which
That's
reminded
what
me
he
of
said.
a quote that it says, guys can't believe that there are girls who are single by choice because they're never single by choice.
Here's the thing. She's choosing to be alone and sad. And honestly, that sounds so fun and exciting, right?
He just said, what are you going to do since you've made this your whole personality? And you took that to mean you should be proud that you've made something that's unimportant part of your personality. If you want to be single by choice, great. I'm just single because I want to be. But you've made that a part of your personality, which is why you're online here talking to us about how you're single by choice. Even though you don't say that you're bragging, that's actually what you and a lot of your other friends that are single by choice are doing. They're bragging about the fact, oh, I can get any man that I want. You can get any man that you want, but apparently in a lot of these situations, you can't get the man that you want. And so you kind of, in that way, aren't single by choice. You have to be single because the guy that you want doesn't want you, unfortunately for you.
One of the biggest curses you can put on your dating life is texting a girlfriend, let's go out and meet cute boys this weekend. I don't know what it signals out into the universe, but it literally puts a complete curse on you. You will go out with your friends and you will not meet anyone. It's like The Walking Dead. It's like there is no one for days and you're not approached. And then you put all of this effort and you're like 7 espresso martinis in and you go to sleep with like a mid-heart attack and you're like, why did I make that effort? In my experience, I have only met guys when I am either dining alone, going somewhere alone, when I feel more approachable. And I think that it's something about like men being afraid to approach women, like large groups of women. And I think about it and like whenever I'm with my girlfriends and we're like, let's go out and like, let's go get dressed up. You're sitting at a table. You're not really approachable. You're not really doing anything. Like, what do you expect a guy to just like come to your table and want to talk to you? You're so much more approachable and like relaxed when you're just yourself. So do not text your girlfriends this weekend. Let's go out and meet cute boys. Trust me, it never works.
Do you ever think that maybe while they might be intimidated, even if I were to give you that part of the argument, do you ever think that something about sitting by yourself helps you to be in a sort of relaxed state? Like you're not really busy doing things because you know that you told men, don't come up and bother me while I'm busy. You see me talking to my friends. I'm busy. Don't talk to me. You see us having dinner. Don't talk to us. We're busy. So when you're by yourself, maybe he thinks, oh, well, maybe she's not busy. She doesn't have her headphones in. She's not reading a book. She doesn't have her nose on her phone. Maybe there's something there. Maybe it's just when you're sitting by yourself, just relaxing, looking off into space, having a little bit of dinner and a glass of wine. Maybe you look like you're at peace and a man wants to experience, say it with me, class, peace. Isn't that what they've been telling you? We want something that's peaceful. I want to be a part of that. How you doing? My name is X, Y, and Z. What's your name? X, Y, and Z. You mind if I sit down? Sure, go right ahead. And you guys have a conversation, right? Maybe 20, 30 minutes. Well, it was nice meeting you. I think I'm going to head home. Okay. Hey, you think I can get your number? Oh, man, I really had a nice conversation, but I don't think I'm interested in that way, but I do appreciate you asking. Or if you want to give him your number, yeah, sure, you can take my number down. Or you know what? I really don't give my number out unless I really actually know people. But I would love to give you my Instagram and, we can connect on there. You can take me out on a date and maybe we can get to know each other there and maybe we can get the number later. How's that sound? Yeah, sure. And see where it goes from there. Modern women don't want to do that though. I get it.
I debated if I even wanted to make this TikTok as it's somewhat vulnerable to me and kind of hard.
And why'd you do it?
To really get my feelings across. But, if people relate to this, it could, transpire into something, good conversation, support, all this kind of stuff. But for the people that are 35.
I find that people, and just really quickly, they use that to their disadvantage. They use it to their advantage and disadvantage. Because, yeah, obviously you should share experiences like, man, this dude was mistreating me. Anybody gone through that? But then also sometimes they share experiences that don't need to be shared. And obviously there's crazy people in the world. Does anybody relate? I feel crazy. That's because you are. Well, I can't be that crazy because a whole host of people in the comments agreed with me. They're crazy too. Y'all just don't know it because y'all become an echo chamber unto yourselves. But y'all are in fact crazy and do in fact need to be locked in jail.
Probably more so women, 35 plus, who, they're just like content being single. Mm-hmm. How? I am 37 and I have definitely struggled in the dating world. I haven't been in a long-term relationship in quite some time, about 5 or so years. Okay. Definitely shorter term relationships I've gone on and off with, 3 months here, 4 months here, 5 months there. This last one really just bummed me out as I really thought You know, we tried twice that. Anyways, beside the point. You know, I want to make the point, like, I've been in therapy for years.
Right.
I truly, like, love myself. So I really don't want people being like, work on yourself and, like, become, like, love yourself. Like, I'm very hyper independent. I grew up an only child primarily. I had to learn to love being by myself and loving who I am. I love to solo travel. It's liberating. Sidebar, if you haven't done it, I highly recommend anyone do it.
Blah, blah, blah.
I have the most great friend support system in the world.
But
at the end of the day, and I want to just be content being single, but at the end of the day, I yearn for
I want
a
companion.
I yearn for a romantic partner.
Yeah, man.
And there's times where I'm like, oh, I got to get to that point where I just don't. It's just not on my mind. Where I accept like this could be, and be okay with everything else in my environment that is positive.
Right.
But I'd be lying to myself.
We know.
Because I truly, it's the puzzle, the piece of the puzzle that's missing for me. And I yearn for it. And I love myself. And I work so hard on continuing to grow to love myself even more and being the woman, the person I am today. But I guess my question is for women that are in this position, men too, that have made that decision, like, what was like your clicking moment? What was the light bulb moment for you where you're like, I'm good. If it happens, it happens, but I'm not going to yearn for it anymore. I'm not going to hope for it, because I could be having the best day and being the most positive, loving myself, whatever, hoopla.
Yep. It's going to hit you like a ton of bricks.
There's something missing. And I don't know if I'll ever get to that point of just being content.
It's possible that you can get to that point, but it's, like you said, for some people, they just do it. When they feel that, they just go hang out with friends. That's what they do. But for a lot of women, this is a natural feeling. For a lot of people, it is a natural feeling. You've done all the hyper independent stuff. You've done all of the solo travel, as you're telling us, and most men know that. But what they're saying is, instead of being hyper independent, turn a little bit of that down. I know you got a job. I know you've got a career. I know you want to go travel and do all of these things and all of these hot girls. I understand that. You don't need to be having all of that. Show a little bit of discipline. That doesn't mean that you can't go on a trip, but while you're on that trip, you don't need to be acting a fool. Just like you want that man to represent you, you need to represent that man. Period. End of story. But modern women don't understand that. So they think they can move and do whatever they want to do out in the dating world. And a man says, no way, I'm not allowing that. So you've got to get on the same page to where I need to find some. These are my non-negotiables. These are the things that I want. And it's not no foolishness like 6 feet, 6 figures, 6-pack. It's none of that. Not saying that, once again, he can't be attractive, because he needs to be attractive to you. But there are plenty of men, plenty of men that would love to be with you. Beautiful, would love to take you out on a date, at the very least, would pay to take you out on a date. But men are tired. They are tired of women doing them wrong and just using them for a free meal, and then getting online and bragging about how they used them for a free meal and an ego boost. Get out of that space. Get out of the space of, oh, I can do it. I can be the best. I don't need no man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, I'm single. I'm fine. Don't do it. Hey, you know, I'm really looking for a man, and I'm still searching. I'm not desperate. I'm not trying to be out here. Relax. Be intentional, but it's not so overboard that, man, it's got to happen tonight. It's got to happen today. Oh, if it don't happen, then what's going to happen? God, please save me. No, you don't got to do that. There are women have plenty of options, even average women. I know you got options. They're going to come. It's going to be your decision, or it's going to be your responsibility to go through those applications, if you will, and say, no, this guy, I'm reading his profile. He's attractive, but let me read his profile and see if he's right for me. See if he believes what I believe at the core, right? And then go from there. Hey, wanted to match. Hey, I like your profile, or whatever you want to say, right? Now, all of this stuff's not going to work out, but you can find a man. You don't have to get to that point to where you want to be like you. Oh, I'm good with being single. I'm good with it. I never have to have it. You don't have to do that. Just figure out what you actually want and what you actually need, and then start looking through the applications to see which one aligns with you.
I'm 32, I'm hot, and I'm single. At this point in my life, and actually regardless of your age, I just believe it's good to do a little self-introspection.
There you go.
So I've been doing a lot of that related to romantic relationships this week. Yes, I do believe I haven't met the right person. I don't believe that timing has ever been right for me. With that being said, there also have been relationships that have never progressed further. And why is it that they haven't? It's okay to sit and wonder in that. As I've been thinking about that this week, something that has just felt very strong within my body is actually, it's brought up my deepest fear, my deepest insecurity that I'm unlovable. And because I've always let that fear be on the forefront of my mind, I've never allowed myself to be vulnerable with somebody, to let them truly in to see me.
All right, let's talk about something real for a second.
That's going to be a problem, obviously. And obviously, there are a great many men and women that go through that. A lot of men and women. But you are a team. You work together on your insecurities. Obviously, there's going to be things that you talk about, vulnerabilities that you share that are rather, quite honestly, surface level. But the more you share, this is why I say in the dating world, women have to support the man. Obviously, the man's coming out, he's taking you on dates and he's doing all of that stuff. But a lot of times the man is not very confident. He's nervous. That doesn't mean that he's not going to come up to you, but he's like on shaky ground. How is this going to go? I don't know this person, and she's beautiful, and I'm really hoping that this works. So he's coming up to you. He doesn't know. And it makes it worse. The problem is exacerbated by when they get there and what are you doing here? I'm reminded of a woman in one of the clips that the man went in for the kiss because he thought the situation was going well. She had actually gone into the bathroom prior to that, him trying to kiss her, blocked him right then and there. And then coming out, he tried going for a kiss and she pulled back. She started laughing in his face like, who do you think you are? What do you think that you're doing? You would never get with me. And then proceeded to want him to pay the bill. That's what men have to worry about. So as a woman, you have to come in and say, these are my insecurities. I'm looking for a man that can help me deal with these. Now, a man's going to have insecurities and I am going to help him deal with those. Well, I ain't going to build no man up. I ain't going to do that. Then why should he build you up? Why should he be involved with you? That's right. He shouldn't. If you're not going to give him the energy back, how can you expect him to give you the energy that you want? How are you going to be vulnerable? How do you want him to allow you to be vulnerable and take off all your problems? But then you don't want to let him be vulnerable with you. And then you comprehend it, understand it, listen to it, and don't try to dump it back on it. Well, that's your problem. You need to get that fixed. You need to man up. And oh man, your vulnerability is making me feel like a victim and I can't have that. Now I feel bad. Now he's got to take his trauma, his vulnerabilities, and yours, and you got to sit down and shut up about it. That's not what men want to be. That's not what they want.
So I'm trying to put myself out there a bit more and try not to use apps. So I've signed myself up to a singles event, which is in the museum tonight. And I wanted to document it just in case it's like really good or just in case people want to try it and see what it's like or share different experiences. So yeah. And my content's a little bit boring because I'm not meeting people, so we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try and video it if we're allowed. It's called Mingle in the Museum. Didn't say what age people were. I know it's sold out, so fingers crossed it's a goodie. It also goes to 11 p.m. and being a nana like me, I am in bed by 8. So we will see how we go. I've also been single for almost 4 years. Just a really shock. And I'm not dating to hook up. It's hard out there, man. It's hard out there.
So we've just parked up at the event and the only people we've seen are above the age of like 40.
Yeah.
So what's this like? So we're midway through.
Halfway through.
We've had people come up to us.
Yep.
have people circling like vultures. Unfortunately, I haven't noticed anyone that I wanted to talk to, but it's a pretty cool concept. Yeah.
Of course, as usual.
Yeah.
As usual, this always happens. You don't notice anybody that you want to talk to because the men that you want to talk to are not going to be there.
And we
Imagine
might
that.
wrap up soon. We're now going home. We both talked to a dude each
Okay.
for a long time, so we think that's sort of successful. We got numbers. We got numbers. Right.
Dry.
Good night. We sell. Sure.
Here's the
Listen, man, y'all struggling out there because y'all all got the same ideology. I'm going to look for a man. He's got to be maybe not 6 feet. Maybe not 6 figures, maybe not 6-pack, but maybe a 5-pack. 5-pack, 5'11", and then, 5 figures, I guess, or whatever that is, 99,000. He can't be too much further under 100,000, or I don't want him. And that's why you can't find any guys, because the average guys aren't good enough for you. And you're going to continue to stay single. You're going to continue to go to events like this, and you're going to continue to be miserable because you guys don't understand how to build a relationship. And it will be your fault when you, maybe you're 28 now. In about 10 years, you'll be 38. And it'll be all your fault because you guys don't know how to act like you have some common sense out there in the dating world. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. See you guys in the next video. I'm out.